which the society is involved. We are doing the study of the society, and the society consists of several things, which includes human behavior, which includes the social relationships. It also includes institutions and organizations, and also it includes the societies. Okay. Since it is a science, we use some scientific methods in order to analyze or in order to study the different forms which are there in social science. Okay, the main objective of our work is to understand how individuals and the groups behave. We try to explain the various social phenomena. We also try to inform policy and decision making. All these things are done in social science, whatever discipline we are having there. Okay, so social science is a broad term, and you can be a part of any discipline. On the right hand side, you can see two figures. And in the first figure, you can see that social institutions, what are they made up of? Norms and rules. Okay. So here we established societal expectations and standards. Then we have order and stability, where we try to maintain the social cohesion and regulation. We have the structure, we have the socialization part also, where a structure tries to provide organized frameworks for social interactions, and socialization tries to transmit culture, values, and knowledge. At the bottom, this figure is coming out to be slightly blurred. It is not blurred, but the background and the foreground are not very well maintained. So the micro level study, the meso level study, the macro level study, and the mega level studies are the part of social science studies. The major disciplines that are there in social science are economics, sociology, political science, psychology, anthropology, and human geography. Okay. And on the right hand side, you can see the social sciences mind map. That is, every discipline can be divided into several sub-disciplines and so on and so forth. Okay, so you in psychology, you have behavioral psychology, you have cognitive psychology, cognitive science is there, then differential psychology is there, and several other aspects of psychology are covered there. Okay. Likewise, in anthropology, you will be having biological anthropology, or you will be having the archaeology, cultural anthropology, and so on and so forth. Okay. Basically, these are the subparts. So, what we do in all these disciplines? Okay, of course, we study all these things, but what is what lies in the core of all these disciplines? At the core of all these disciplines, there is some sort of data. There is some information. Okay. The data that is there will form the information on the basis of which you study or you analyze something. The traditional methods that we have are generally the surveys and the questionnaires. Then there are lab and field experiments. We also have to perform a statistical analysis, and some of the common statistical tools that are used are the regression and the hypothesis testing. Then we have qualitative methods in which interviews are there, case studies are there, and we try to analyze something in a qualitative manner. Basically, we are trying to understand the data that is gathered. Okay, now at the bottom, you can see the type of data. Why we are writing it big data? Because nowadays we talk about data in volume. Huge amount of data is being generated through different sources. And the relationship between the variables is getting more and more complex. So we have this term called big data, and there are different type of data. But broadly, we can categorize them as the structured data, the semi-structured data, or an unstructured data. Structured data is the one that is properly defined in a tabular format. Okay, like you have in your Excel sheet where the data is properly defined. Have different types of variables there, it does not matter, but the data will be in a proper format. Semi-structured data means, first I'll tell you about the unstructured data. So when you are having data in the form of images or in the form of text, like questionnaire that you have, it will be in the form of a text, or the interview that you are having will be in the form of a text. Okay, it will not be having the numerical values directly, or it will be having some sentences, it will be having some words and things like that. So such type of data is known as the unstructured data. Okay, and in between you have semi-structured data, which means that it is partially structured but partially it is unstructured. In today's scenario, we come across different type of data together. I mean, if you are conducting a study properly or thoroughly, then you may also be needing the image data. You may also be needing the text data. And if you are recording the interview, then you will be having the data in an audio format. Okay, so different types of data are there. In fact, most of the data is collected by the social scientists, which are then the data is then analyzed, the data is then structured properly, and then it is analyzed by the machine learning scientists or the AI scientists. In this table, we see some of the differences between the structured and the unstructured data. So, like I told you, that structured data is in the form of Excel file. Also, we can store it in the form of CSV file format. And whereas unstructured data will be like the audio files. And then in audio files also, you can have different formats. It can be a PDF document, particularly if you are doing some sort of policy analysis. Then the available policies may be in the form of some PDF document, and you may have to analyze it. And after that, you have images, and images can also be in different formats. You have JPG format, JPEG format, PNG format, and several other formats are there for storing the unstructured data. The source example, if we talk about, then in case of a structured data, we generally get the information in the form of online forms, like you are asking, you are sending Google form to multiple people and you want to record their response. It can be one way. Then it can be the point of sale system. It can be online transaction in case of banking, etc. It can be the number of clicks, how many times a website is being viewed, and like that. Okay. Whereas for unstructured data, we have, as we already saw in the previous column, that unstructured data can be in the form of text, it can be in the format of images, and so on. So the example will be emails or the social media posts like Twitter, like X or Facebook or anything else. I mean, any of the social media format in which the information is there. Then it can be multimedia files and it can be IoT outputs. IoT here stands for Internet of Things, where different systems are connected together with the help of internet. The nature of the data in case of structured data is generally quantitative, and in case of unstructured data, it is usually qualitative. Okay. And the database that is generally used for structured data is the relational database, and it is in the form of SQL. That is just one example. It can be done in different ways also. And for unstructured data, it is non-relational and we represent it as NoSQL. Warehouse and data lake houses are there for storage and storage for analytics use when you are trying to analyze it. And for unstructured data, again, we have the data lakes and data lake houses. Okay. Once the data is collected, it is analyzed by the experts, which can be business analysts, which can be who can be software engineers or the data analytics. Likewise, for unstructured data, we also need to handle it properly. We also need to analyze it properly. There are benefits and challenges for structured as well as unstructured data. So structured data, because it is already stored in a proper format, it is easy to analyze and it also does not take much space. Whereas if your data is in the form of audio files or PDF documents, then it will require more storage. Okay. Also, there are difficulties in searching and analyzing the unstructured data. We need more complex algorithms for analyzing those. Okay. Now let's see what is artificial intelligence. In a very broad manner, we can say that artificial intelligence is a system in which we are trying to make decisions which are at par with the human decision. What constitutes AI? So, AI is made up of machine learning. It has a part called natural language processing or NLP. It is made up of expert systems. What AI can do? AI can see, AI can talk, AI can plan, and so on. Okay. And if you go deeper into the diagram, then we have different types of learning mechanisms. Okay, now this theory of learning again has evolved from psychology. What is learning? How a person learns, how a child learns from the very beginning, and what is the process of learning. The learning keeps on evolving as a person grows. Okay, in every stage of human evolution, there is a process of learning. So, all these concepts are borrowed from psychology. Like you have supervised learning. Supervised learning means that you are making a person learn through supervision. And once the child reaches an age where he or she is able to understand the things on his or her own, then it comes to unsupervised learning. The child will be able to understand by observing the things around him or her. Then deep learning means that Once the person has developed enough understanding, then he or she will be able to do much better analysis of things as and when the intelligence grows. Okay, then in terms of language processing, we have concepts like content extraction, how we can classify the things, how we can classify the text rather, then machine translation, how good a machine is in translating from one language to another language or translating one word to its synonyms and so on. How good we are in question answering or how good we are in able to develop a system that can answer the questions perfectly. Then, what kind of text is being generated? Here, linguistics play a very important role. Okay, the language scientists play a very important role for grammar, for translation, and other such things. Expert systems, they were in use some years back. They were very popular, expert systems, but now we can call them as a part of deep learning itself. Okay, then seeing the thing and then making a decision. Okay, human beings have five senses on the basis of which the human beings make a decision. Okay, and vision is one of the senses. So, when we incorporate vision into a system, into a machine, then it becomes artificially intelligent. Okay, so we have the concepts called image recognition, where after seeing an object or after seeing an image, the machine is able to identify it and is able to classify it correctly. Likewise, machine vision is there, in which automatically the machine is seeing the things and then making a decision. All the senses that human beings have are used for making the decision. The way we see the things, the way we hear the things, the way we, I mean, other sensors, of course, we cannot incorporate in machine directly, like how we are tasting the things and other things. That is not there, but yes, at least vision and speech. These two important senses can be incorporated into the machine. So, all these senses are used for making a decision. This concept is integrated into the machine in order to make it decide something, in order to make the machine take a decision on its own. Then planning part is there, how to plan the things. Then robotics, I mean, you are adding a hardware part to the intelligence part, and together you are creating a system that is able to see, that is able to move, and that is able to hear and also able to speak. So here we are coming to the hardware part of it, and we are talking about robotics. The AI technologies that we have computer vision, we have audio processing, which is basically our sense or the sense of the machine, then to comprehend something. Okay, so here we have natural language processing and how you are representing the knowledge. Okay, the text or the speech will be processed by the machine in order to make it understand what is written, what is being said, and things like that. Then we have the representation of the knowledge, that is comprehension and or comprehend. And once these two are activated, then the machine is able to act. Act here means make a decision on the basis of the learning and on the basis of the expert system. So what do we have? We have virtual agents. That is the output. That is what we get. We have identity analytics. This you use in your phones also in order to identify someone. Fingerprints are there. And then there is cognitive robotics. Then there is speech analytics. Then we have recommendation systems. And we have data visualization. Okay, this is the final outcome that we have on the basis of the different paradigms, the different technologies that we have in machine learning or artificial intelligence. Actually, both are different. Machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence, but many times we say it interchangeably. We interchange it. Where are we today? We are today at the stage of narrow artificial intelligence. We are moving towards artificial general intelligence, and the artificial super intelligence is something that we want to have, that we are conceptualizing, that yes, one day there will be machines that are smarter than human beings. Okay, so presently, what are we doing? We have developed the machines that imitate human behavior, and they specialize in a particular area and they can solve a problem. So you have got Siri, which can answer your queries. Okay, there can be an interactive conversation between you and Siri. Then Chat GPT, you can have an interactive conversation. It will listen to a query, and it will read your query and then will try to answer you accordingly in the form of text, but it is interactive. Alexa is same as that of Siri. So these things are interactive, but still it is narrow intelligence, narrow artificial intelligence. Okay, because the machines are imitating the humans, they are trying to behave like humans. We are moving towards artificial general intelligence, and in this stage the machines can learn continuously, so they are almost as smart as human beings. Right now we are making them smart, they are only imitating the human beings, but humans have a natural way of evolution. Human thinking evolves naturally by observing different things, by correlating different things, by hearing different things, and so on and so forth. The evolution is continuous in case of human beings. But in case of machines, the humans have to make the machines smart. But we are looking at a process, we are moving towards a process in which the machines will also understand the things dynamically. That is, making the algorithms more dynamic in nature. Fine. Then, as I told you, artificial super intelligence, that is still a very far off thing. It will take a few decades before we reach towards that, where we say that the machines have finally uh, attained consciousness. They are conscious. They can learn from human beings. They can act as human beings, and they are smarter than human beings. Before a human can make a decision, the machine will make a decision that is better than the one that was supposed to be taken by the human. Okay, now why there is so much talk about artificial intelligence? Why artificial intelligence is becoming so popular? Why every discipline wants to incorporate artificial intelligence into it? Okay, in case of sciences also, it's not just computer scientists who are working on artificial intelligence. As per the national education policy, as per the NEP, every discipline should incorporate artificial intelligence. So the chemical scientists are also looking at it, how AI can be incorporated into chemical engineering, then polymer science or any civil engineers or any engineering science, they are also incorporating artificial intelligence in order to get better results. Same is the case with social sciences, where artificial intelligence can play a very important role for better decision making. Hmm. Yeah, and why it has become so popular now? If you go by the history of artificial intelligence, then it is not something that is new. In mid 50s, the term was already coined by McCarthy, who is known as the father of artificial intelligence. He coined this term that at one point of time, at that time, it was more conceptual in nature. A concept was developed. Okay. So in 50s, something was conceptualized, but it was materialized, you can say almost in 2000. The reason for this was the availability of data. Okay. Since, it has been some time since everything is getting digitized. We have digital cameras. We have, the bank transactions, they are recorded. They are in some form of digitization. Then the government, every state is keeping its data in a digital format, is or at least trying to keep the data in the digital format. Then you have got social media that is generating so much of data. It is not just generating the data, but now we have measures to store that data also. Okay. The thing is that it is on the social media, it is on the cloud, where we can access that data and then analyze it, because we have got good algorithms also. Okay. So we have got sufficient amount of data. We have got good computational power. We have got systems in which there are GPUs, TPUs, etc., etc. And also we have very good algorithms. We have got very good algorithms to analyze different type of data. The food for artificial intelligence is data. Okay. And data is generated in each and every discipline, in each and every field. In this part, it is about businesses, that how AI is used in business. And there is one small slide which tells you about not which shows that one should not have any fear from technology. It is, you should learn the transformation and you should be able to accept the transformation that is taking place. Some examples are given here. In 1450s, when printing press was invented, people started saying that there will be a loss of knowledge from the brain. Okay, everything is there in a printed format. But what actually happened? It resulted in literacy. Then during Industrial Revolution, there was a fear of losing the jobs. Okay, but it led to economic growth. Then when computers were developed in 70s, there was a fear of automation. Okay, but what actually happened? Digital economy started flourishing. When internet came in 1990s, there was there was a fear of privacy loss. Okay, but what happened? We were connected. We were more connected. there was a type of global connectivity. Now there is a group, there is a school of thought for artificial intelligence also, which says that when you are applying artificial intelligence, there is a fear of bias, loss of control, and all such things. Also, there is the fear of loss of jobs. Okay, but you can see the pattern, you can see the historical pattern that whenever a new technology is proposed or invented, there is a natural fear among people. What will happen? But that fear is only up to the point when you are not, till you are not accepting the technology, till you are not considering that technology as your friend. Only till that time there will be fear. Once you are familiar with the technology, you will understand that there is no need to fear. The AI technology is there to assist you, to enable you, to help you in making better decisions, or to help you in analyzing the things in a better manner. Okay, so most likely we will be having a very good human and AI collaboration. AI will never be able to surpass the human intelligence. Although we do say that at one point of time we will be developing artificial superintelligence, but that will be a concept. Still, the humans will be more intelligent, because as the machine is evolving, the humans are also evolving, and because of the human evolution, the machines are evolving. So, machines and humans, they are correlated with each other. Now, let's come to decision making, because that is what the AI system is doing. Okay. We have the knowledge which we have acquired from data that will help us in developing a learning process, and that will finally lead us to a form of intelligence. Okay. We say that decision making is a process, or it is an act or an art of choosing one alternative from a given set of alternatives. So, when you are having several things in front of you, as a human being, you are able to make one decision. You are able to choose an alternative. That is the trait of humans, that you are able to decide something. Hmm. When we look at decision making from, let's say, from the management point of view, then decision making can be operational, where we are trying to solve the short term goals. They are usually focused on the daily activities and the immediate problem solving. This is also a type of, these decision making concepts are applied everywhere, whether you are making a policy decision, or you are making an organization decision, and like that, institutional decision, or anything. The decision making can be segregated into these three parts: operational, tactical, and strategic. So operational is for day-to-day working, tactical, you have medium goals, then strategic, you have long-term goals. Okay. Medium term, focusing on achieving specific objectives and allocating resources efficiently. Then strategic is long term. The focus is on overall direction, goals, and policies of an organization. You analyze the available information, you weigh the possible outcomes, and then you choose what aligns with objective values or constraints. What you have is a set of alternatives, you have a specific goal, and you decide the best course of action. Okay, this slide is very generic in nature. This slide is generic in nature because it can be applied to each and every field, wherever decision making is there. No matter which discipline you belong, you ultimately you will be making a decision. Some sort of decision making has to be done. This is the evolution of AI in decision making. So till now, we are not talking anything in terms of computer science or any of the mathematics also we have not talked about. This also is very generic in nature. A strategic decision making, enhancing the data analysis capabilities. Okay, because that is the main work of AI. That is why we have developed AI. How to analyze the data, how to get the best result from the data. Some concepts that were added to AI were like ethical considerations. Again, we need the help of social scientists in that in order to make some ethical policies related to ethics. Then there is exploration of artificial general intelligence. Then we try to transform the autonomous decision making processes and like that. Now coming to, okay, data is there, fine. We have got artificial intelligence, that is also fine. Where in one of the previous slides, we just saw that we have got good computational power, we have got good algorithms, and we have got sufficient amount of data. Also, I told you that data is the food for AI algorithms. The food should be of good quality in order to make the AI algorithms work properly. And that is where the main problem is. Usually, the data that is collected, the primary data that is collected, is very complex in nature. It has inherent uncertainties. The data in itself can be uncertain. If the data is uncertain, then there will be difficulty in making the predictions. So you will be having prediction uncertainty. If there is prediction uncertainty, it will lead to judgment uncertainty. If judgment uncertainty is there, obviously you won't be able to take the action properly. There will be some uncertainty in your action also. This is where AI algorithms can help you. AI algorithms can help you in analyzing the vast amount of data that is there. Once the data is analyzed, we can recognize the patterns in that data. Once we recognize the patterns in the data, we can recommend the solutions properly, or we can recommend the optimal solutions. We already know that we are living in the world where there is large amount of data everywhere. You use Google every day. Google processes 24 petabytes of data per day. Then most of you must be using Facebook, in which 10 million photos are uploaded every hour. Okay, and this is forming the data. YouTube, 1 hour of video is uploaded every second. In Twitter, which is now known as X, 400 million tweets are there per day. Then we have astronomy. I mean, from the government point of view, the satellites are installed, which are capturing the picture, and a vast amount of data is being generated from that. And this is a slightly older slide. So presently, this data has increased much more than mentioned in this particular slide. This is the main motivation of integrating artificial intelligence with social science. Okay, so like in our lab also, we are one of my research scholar is working on mental health issues. So there we come across we come across data that is related to psychology and so on. But other than that also, we have social media data, we have administrative data, we have data that is generated from sensors, that is the satellite data. So satellite data also tells us, can give us very good information which is relevant from the social point of view. Okay, how much area is inhabited, what is the migration pattern, what is the, I mean, afforestation, deforestation, the socio-economic life, and so many things can be observed from that. The traditional methods that are generally used in social science are the linear models, and the data sets that are generally used are small data sets. Okay, so machine learning can be used as a complementary tool. You will be needing basic statistics. I'm sure all the social scientists have done a course in statistics. If you have not done a course in statistics, then do that. It will be very useful for you. So, machine learning can give you more value information, can add value to the data that you have already analyzed with some statistical method. Now we'll come back to the artificial intelligence part. Okay. And neural networks are, or now as we call the deep learning algorithms, they form the core of artificial intelligence. They form the backbone of artificial intelligence. These are some of the models from the algorithm point of view. Like I told you, it was developed in 50s. In 1958, the first model was proposed. It was a perceptron model, and that was done by a neuroscientist. Okay, then um, in 86, back propagation. I mean, these are some of the technical terms that are associated with neural networks. But if you look at the diagram on the right hand side, okay, so initially it was the pattern recognition type of work that was done with the neural networks. Then came representation learning. And now we are in the phase of decision intelligence. That is how to make the decisions intelligently. McCulloch and Pitts, they in initially they gave the concept of representing the working of the brain with the help of a simple model. So in 40s, that model was, the model did not work very well. So although we say that McCulloch and Pitts model is there, but it was, I mean, it just laid a concept. It was this perceptron model by Rosenblatt that was more popular, and that laid the foundation of the modern neural network architecture that we have. And Rosenblatt was a psychologist. It was because of his knowledge of psychology that he gave the model of a perceptron. He gave the concept, his perceptron model is based on the concept that human beings do not weigh all the criteria equally. Human beings give different weights to different criteria and then make a decision and then choose an alternative. Okay. These are some of the figures that you may come across if you are having a look at the neural networks. And these are another type of neural networks. These are known as recurrent neural networks, and they are used for analyzing the text. Neural network has a very long history, and neural networks I'm particularly talking about because neural networks, as I told you, form the core of artificial intelligence. They form the main concept of artificial intelligence. We had the perceptron era, we had the multi-layer perceptron era, we had the CNN RNN era, deep learning, and now we are in the phase of transformers. Transformers are neural network architecture, or we say that they are a type of neural networks which are used for language models. Like GPT. The T in GPT is for transformer, generative pre-trained transformer. Nowadays, the type of framework that we prefer for AI systems is like a hybrid framework in which we need a good data ecosystem in which the data is collected. It can be in any format. It can be in the form of images. It can be text. It can be graph. It can be through sensor or time series and like that. Then we have the representation learning, and the optimization part is there, the decision layer is there, and finally the action that we want to take has to be there. It depends on the domain in which you are working, what type of data you are collecting. Okay, it can be a data that is collected through some survey. It can be a census data. You maybe, as a part of your work, you want to check the literacy rate of a particular area and you want to see the various factors that are affecting the literacy of that region. Or you may be, your problem may be of the type that you are trying to analyze a particular disease that happens in a particular area or a particular region. So, what are the different effects? So, generally in social science, what we do is we try to find the cause and effect type of thing. And by integrating machine learning into it, we can do several more things to our problem. We can understand the type of, we can understand different types of features. We can also understand the features that are prominently affecting a particular region and so on. Now, let's have a look at the various AI tools that are there for social science research. So, starting from the literature review, there are some other advanced tools also. I mean, Google Scholar, you all must already be using, and Google Scholar is a type of AI tool only. Then you have Semantic Scholar, and which helps you in finding the papers, and they can also help you in identifying the research gap for gathering for data collection and for um, data cleaning, because in almost all the disciplines of social science,
a huge amount of data is used. You come across a large amount of data. That data can be analyzed with the help of Python and R. I mean, both are very good. R is particularly for statistical analysis, but now Python, initially the social scientists used to work on R. Okay, R was more popular because it was designed particularly for statistics. But Python is better because here you have machine learning algorithms also. You can use it for survey data cleaning, for handling the missing values. Missing values are they form a very important part of any of the data. How you are handling the missing values. Then you have analysis and modeling. Here you can make use of the machine learning algorithms or the type of neural network algorithms. And for that, you have scikit-learn, you have TensorFlow, you have PyTorch. Okay. And the type of work that you can do is classification, clustering, or regression analysis. Okay. These are the different types of works that can be done with the help of different tools. So the first thing that you have to remember is that integration with social science is the need of the hour, because it is through the social science data. Just 1 second. It is through the social science data that an AI system can be developed that is actually useful for the society, because that is the main goal of artificial intelligence. Okay, how it can be used by everyone, or what benefits it is having for the society. In fact, the one another reason for the popularity of artificial intelligence is that is its potential. Its potential to analyze the data, its potential to make predictions, its potential to make decisions. Particularly for NLP, because in social science, most of the data, many times the data is collected in the interview format. So you will be having a huge amount of qualitative data in front of you. So there you can make use of natural language processing, which is for analyzing the textual data. There is a library called NLTK. It is a very simple library and it is available in Python. Okay, so Python is a very easy language. It has, um, I mean, you will find a lot of programs that are already available, and you can read those programs, and from that you can customize them for your own work. So NLTK is a very well-known library and it is for sentiment analysis. In sentiment analysis, you can collect the data from the social media or you can collect the data through interviews and like that. It can also be used for topic modeling, like political speeches, etc. can be written after understanding the mood of the people. And Chat GPT, you might have already used a lot. Then Grammarly is there for correcting the grammar of the work that you are doing. And Quillbot is mostly for paraphrasing. They can help you in providing the literature summaries, and they can also be used for proofreading. Grammarly and Quillbot can be used for proofreading, whereas ChatGPT can also do the proofreading, but ChatGPT can do other things, like it can help you in summarizing the text and things like that. But always remember that sometimes the chat GPT hallucinates. Okay, hallucinates means that it will give you the wrong answer very confidently. So keep on checking the answers that are given by chat GPT or any other language model. For reporting purpose or for presenting the insights that you have obtained from the data, you have got W, then Power BI is there, and Matplotlib is there. So Matplotlib is a library of Python. It can be integrated with any of the data that you are having, and it will give you very nice visual plots. Also, you can make use of Tableau for creating the dashboards, and you can use them for charts or for making the policy reports. The challenges and shortcomings of neural networks or deep learning or AI. The first thing is that generalization is very difficult. These algorithms that we have in artificial intelligence are very problem specific. So if you are creating an algorithm for a particular domain, then it will be useful for that domain itself. But do not consider it as a problem, but keep on developing it for the domain in which you are working. If you are a master of a particular domain, create an algorithm that is excellent for that particular domain. It does not matter if it is not working for other domains. Let the other people make their own algorithm. Then, this again is the problem algorithmically, like optimizing the neural network. That is a problem. And we also have training difficulties. So, it is a mathematical drawback that we have. There can be limitations in algorithm and arithmetic capabilities. So we don't have a very rigorous mathematical framework for neural networks. And also, there are certain algorithmic limitations. But from the social science point of view, I mean, all these drawbacks that are written here, they are more appropriate for a computer scientist. If you're working in social science, you can use an algorithm that is already available, and most likely it will serve the purpose. You will only have to do some amount of customization into that algorithm. Then making the algorithm interpretable is another problem, and how to make it more understanding is, these are some of the drawbacks that we have. Okay. I'll just end by telling you what we do in our lab. So although my department is applied mathematics and scientific computing, we work on the areas that we work on real life problems. That is, we try to get the data from the real life scenario, and then we try to develop algorithms, or we try to customize the algorithm as per that problem. We have worked in the area of medical imaging, and we have also worked for the army in developing a surveillance type of system. Then there are vision language models in which we have to generate a caption. So here you can see the caption is written in English, but the person who's actually dealing with the tank may not be knowing English. So there should be a proper translation for it. And for translation, we need a language expert. So things like that. This is an example of automatic target detection and generating the caption, like what is happening in a particular frame. This is again for analyzing the data. And explainable AI. Explainable AI
That is what is happening inside the algorithm and what can be the ethical issues while we are developing an artificial intelligent algorithm. Okay. This one is totally related to computer science, so we can skip it. Another thing is when for large language models, we need to have good algorithms that are good in reasoning. Okay, so although Chat GPT is it has improved a lot. It has improved a lot, but still it sometimes gets stuck when we are talking about the simple reasoning problems. The reasoning problems that you will be able to solve very easily. You can think of SSC type of questions in which you have to find the relation between two people. You will be able to do that very easily, but language models may get stuck, although Chat GPT has evolved a lot. It has improved quite a lot. So that is all for now. If there are any questions, you can ask.